Okay, hello students, welcome back. And today we are going to continue our lesson on the human skeletal system. This is COVID lah. That's why I always cough. This COVID is making very difficult. But I amazed with the virus. I see like wow, why this virus so powerful one? Like one virus from China can infect million people, and I feel like this virus really powerful. Sometimes I sleep also I think this virus are very special science. One day we can evaluate. Like I will think lah, wow, God is very good lah, can create a virus that that infect many people. And then sometimes I sleep I think during war if attack people also very good lah. You don't use nuclear, you give bio weapon, let all the people got a stronger COVID and then they die. I say wow, can fight in war also very 方便 can infect until the president you want to kill the president in the war, so you give virus you give bomb, the president cannot die because the president hide inside. You give some virus so at least can reach until the president. I'm thinking the human skeletal system made of many bone, and as I mentioned previously, this chapter is more about memorize. You need to 背罢了because they only ask teach in teach this thing, you just 你背就对了啦You want the first part? So the axial skeleton contain the cranium, but I only highlight the important I don't want to highlight everything. I highlight the important one because I think that is more common the exam will ask. I seldom see the question ask axial skeleton, but I always think that the exam ask cranium. So I highlight cranium. Cranium is the skull. So again, for your new English word, if you don't want to say I injured my head, I injured my skull, I break my cranium. So this is called cranium. Cranium is another word for the skull. Eventually, in science, we seldom use the word skull, you see. They never use the word skull. They use, human skull. Okay? So this is called the cranium bone and facial bone. I don't want to highlight it because I don't think it's that important, so I don't highlight it. Okay, so cranium bone, facial bone provide the basic frame. Okay, but I highlight also doesn't mean it's important. Just for fun, I highlight it. Okay, vertebral column consists of 33 bones. So this is and we can see there is again a curve, which it will make it more stronger and more flexible. The vertebrae is important, that is to protect the spinal cord. So probably there will be a spinal cord. So sometimes we injure the bone. The injured bone okay, injured bone, the bone sometimes still can heal, but the bone very near to it 是你的神经线 spinal cord, and when you move the bone, like you 动到那个骨头，你动到那个 spinal cord, then very pain. That's why when people do like that they got bone problem, they feel very pain, because once you injure the bone, you might as well injure the spinal cord. And once you injure the spinal cord is not something like muscle, you cut, then it will heal. Spinal cord, once you injured, if I'm not mistaken, you cannot heal it. That's why when people say they break the spinal cord here, 他的脚用不到了，他跌倒，他弄到这边受伤， but the spinal cord 去不到脚， and 他是讲他的脚用不到了。 So if your 骨头断 the bone break, then you can still heal the bone and the person can walk. But if the spinal cord injured and the person is paralyzed and cannot walk, means forever cannot walk already, because your spinal cord GG already. Okay, it's like the wire 断了， the wire supposed to go to your leg, 放那个电 Yeah, your body also got wire, the spinal cord. So 它很像放那个电 and the electric impulse will make to tell your leg to move. But the wire already gone, so there's no electric go to your leg. Then cannot. Then you say, huh, human also need electric ah? Yes. We operate our nerve, our brain, our hand, our nerve. We also got use little bit of electric. That's why if you touch the electric and then you then you die. Why you want to like that? Because once the electric go in, it go to your brain, go to your body, your whole system jam already. So the electric will you will get electric current and your hand also cannot move out. You know it is very painful, but your hand cannot move out because your body is shaking and shaking and shaking, and eventually the person will die. So it's very important to protect your body, your bone, exercise careful a bit, eat more what? Eat more vitamin D and calcium and exercise. These three things you must do. Do correctly. Eat vitamin D, eat calcium. Of course you need calcium, but calcium without vitamin D is useless because vitamin D help you to absorb the calcium. If you don't eat the calcium, no vitamin D, then you eat, then you poop out again. Then the thing come out because there's no absorption. And you also need to exercise because exercise make the bone stronger, especially if you are young. At this age you should always exercise. No exercise means next time got problem, means more money. So you need to think far a bit, don't just think now, think far a bit. You know exercise, you got health problem, don't want to eat vegetable, next time got problem means you need to pay more money, and then you won't be happy and you will make other people difficult. So now we need to start to take care of our body. That's why you see some auntie is very good. Auntie 他们比较想远的 auntie you can see morning they come out and walk auntie uncle 他要exercise 你不 exercise 你看你老的时候怎样 but and then you also see got two type of auntie. One auntie is morning go exercise, another auntie is morning I don't know what he do lah, sleep or go sit. Then after that one auntie no bone problem, one auntie got bone problem. Then don't say auntie lah, uncle also lah So eventually you can see this one will die faster the one that exercise live happier, use less money and live longer. But of course uncle is also the same lah there's uncle and auntie. I say auntie because usually girls have more bone issue Usually female have bone issue because they got baby. So when they got baby, the baby will take the calcium from the mother. So the usually auntie or female lah. That's why if you are girl, you need to take care bone even more because you will make baby Guy no make baby, so their bone is okay. Once you take baby, the baby will take the calcium from the mommy. So you need to be careful. Rib and sternum. This one you need to know. This is called sternum. I highlight it, which I think it might be important and coming out in your exam. So it's for your rib, and your rib is to hold the lung. And then this one you need to pectoral girdle, you need to memorize. This is called the pectoral girdle. Scapula, this is called the scapula. There's a 背罢了啦actually seldom ask in exam but they can ask. See your teacher mood lah but if I'm the teacher I will ask lah because I want to make the student life more difficult a bit. And also I will ask humerus. This is called the humerus. And then we have ulna and radius. Okay, ulna is the bigger size, 比较大一点 radius, so it's ulna radius. 背罢了 carpus, phalanx, metacarpus. But I feel this is more famous lah, so I put a star. Radius, ulna, humerus, pectoral girdle, scapula. I feel it's more famous lah, but who knows what the exam they will ask. Okay, so this is the explain ulnar radius. Humerus is a shape like a ball shape and attached to the cover bone of the wrist. And this one I think no need to read lah, but if you want to read because because when you read actually you 大概懂 you roughly feel that exam they won't ask because the exam won't ask please explain humerus and then you need to write this thing. So far I didn't see this question or can you please explain carpus or metacarpus. No. Usually they just ask you to label. So I put no need to read so much. But I put disclaimer. I don't know. But I just don't think exam will ask this. Pectoral girdle, this one you need to memorize. Girdle on the axial skeleton. Pelvic, this one you need to know. Pelvic girdle support weight. So this is your pelvic 下面你的屁股那个骨头 support weight, protect the bladder and reproduce. This one femur patella fibula, very easy. Maybe you can make a song lah. Femur patella fibula tibia tarsus metatarsus. Usually I just remember this lah. Femur patella fibula tibia. Then femur patella fibula tibia. Femur patella fibula. This is last time I remember like that lah. So I make it like a song and I can remember it. Scapula humerus radius ulna. Scapula humerus radius ulna. I make it like a song and I draw it. Then if you draw it will be better. If you want to memorize, I will recommend you if you have your note 你画了过后你又唱歌 then I feel it's easier to remember 啦 你画了过后你唱歌 if you just read the book like that cannot one. Either you need to, if you want to remember easy, either you make it like a song or you use acronym like SHRU or you can visualize it in your brain. Means in your brain 你要 imagine the bone and then you imagine the limb. You need to imagine in your brain. We call it visual image in your brain. Because if you cannot visualize, 你的头脑是 cannot 你画不到那个照片在你的头脑 then it is very difficult to remember. Whatever thing you want to remember, you should able to in your brain you can 画出来在你的头脑里面 then that will be like mathematics as well lah. If the person imaginary is very good, he can do the mathematics in the brain. Okay, 73 minus 1, then he do. If you cannot imagine, then more difficult lah more difficult to eventually I think cannot lah that's why some students they read but they cannot. Some students they read one time they can because the student 他可以 imagine 在他的头脑画出来那个照片在那个头脑 and then 那个照片就粘是他的头脑了 and then you need to do like that then you will remember. Comparing the strength and the bone hollow bone. So this is some experiment whether you want to make it compare the strength. So maybe you want to make one hollow cylinder, means inside got hole, and this one is the compact cylinder. And number of textbook. So I don't know, but let's say lah here I put 3 textbook. Compact I can put 7 textbook. But in the hypothesis what is accepted? What is the hypothesis? Hypothesis is hollow bone is stronger than compact bone. Oh, hollow bone is stronger than the compact bone. So maybe then this one I need to put 7. This one I need to put 3. Because he say hollow bone is stronger than the compact bone. 就是 hollow bone compact. Just now we already defined what is hollow, empty one is compact. So basically maybe hollow can take 7 book, compact only can take 3 book. What represent in A and B? So maybe A represent the bird, B represent the bone, maybe I put elephant. That's why I say I want to put here 3 and 7. I haven't do the experiment. Suggest advantages of supposed represented by the paper row A. So of course A is hollow. So we can say that advantages, it is lighter, and we can say it is stronger, for example. Okay, so it's lighter like for a bird, and it is stronger because it can hold 7 books. We can do this experiment. Support system and factor of stability in animal. So now we want to look at stability. How stable is the animal? So between a zebra and crocodile, we can say that the crocodile is more stable. I mean, if you want to compare, zebra and crocodile will be more stable. Okay, so why the crocodile is more stable? First thing we can say is, maybe we can say the crocodile is, the height is low height. This one is higher. So one of the hypotheses is, if the thing is lower, then is more stable than something that is higher, and another one is the base. For example, we can say the base, because the base is smaller, the base is bigger. So we can say that if the base is bigger, then it will be more stable. And there are many things we can say. Maybe we can say the weight, because if the thing is heavier, then it will be more stable than something that is lighter. So let's look at the factor that influence the stability. But in exam you don't write weight you just write these two enough already. Factor that affect stability, there are only two: center of gravity or base area, that determine that some object will be more stable. For example, like this one, we do experiment, for example. So P and Q, so we know P is more stable, and the question asks why P is more stable. So we write the answer, P is more stable because, because what? P is more stable than Q because it has lower, what is this? Center of gravity. Center of gravity. So this is how you want to write in your exam. Let's say they give you this picture and they ask you why P is more stable. You need to say that P is more stable because it has lower center of gravity. If you got this, you get 1 mark. Ching ching. If you don't get this, as long as you didn't write lower center of gravity in the answer scheme, then you don't get any mark. How about for base area? Let's say the question give you this question. The question asks you, which one is more stable? Explain.
S.
Very good. So let's say the question asks, which one is more stable? You will say that R is more stable, and you will get 1 point for this one. And then they ask you explain. Okay, R is more stable because it has either wider or bigger I use wider base area as compared with S. Okay, so this is how you explain the thing properly. Because we did not say R is bigger than S, or R is shorter, or R leg is big, S leg is small. We didn't write like that. Because when you say like that, people start to confuse. What I mean by R leg big, small means big leg means more stable, so thin leg not stable. So you don't make people confused. We just give the picture and then we answer properly. Because he got a wider base area than S. S has a smaller base area. Then people, because it has a wider base area, you can count, you can use ruler, you can measure. Let's say here is 20 cm, 20 cm square, here is 10 cm. The base area 20 cm is more stable than 10 cm. Then people can understand. Don't say the one big leg, one small leg, then people will be like, big leg, small leg. Let's say we want to do this experiment. Do I have, okay, I want to have an empty space. I want to do an experiment. I want to copy this experiment for base area. I see down here got experiment or not. That experiment, good. So we can do paper, experimental paper, because sometimes the exam they will ask about the experiment. Let's say the person say I have a problem. The problem statement is we do not know whether which one is more stable. What are the factors that influence the stability? And my hypothesis is wider base area will make the object more stable. Let's say this is the hypothesis. I just put H1 hypothesis. Hypothesis saying that wider base area will make the object more stable. Hypothesis can be anything. Okay, hypothesis I can say that like chocolate more than vanilla. Let's say this is the hypothesis. It haven't tested out. Let's say I say guy in Kuala Lumpur, student in Kuala Lumpur like chocolate more than vanilla. That is the hypothesis which I haven't tested out. So in order to test it, I will do a survey 100 people in Kuala Lumpur or 1000 people student in Kuala Lumpur, and then I get the data. Let's say I say 60% like chocolate, 40% like vanilla. So that will be a facts experiment by survey method. Then I get the data. People like chocolate 60%, 40% like vanilla. So this is how we do science. Because science doesn't mean like you say only. Say then we prove it. We need to show it. Let's say I want to do the hypothesis. Wider base area will make the object more stable. There will be MV, manipulated variable. There will be responding variable RV and constant variable CV. Can you tell me the manipulated variable and responding variable? Very good. Okay, stability. So usually the MV and RV is given in the question. You need to read. You need to know your problem first. Let's say I say guy like more chocolate than vanilla. So the manipulated variable will be that one is more difficult a bit. Maybe I will say is chocolate and vanilla. Like never mind, just ignore the example. Okay, so anyway, wider base area will make object. So this will be the MV, manipulated variable, and more stable will be the RV. So I just say that manipulated variable is the base area, and responding variable will be the stability. Because I want to test. So maybe you need to imagine in your mind that I want to test the base area. So maybe I want to use something that is big and then something that is small to A and B to check the stability. But how about control variable? What are the control variable that I need to look upon? Okay, so the constant variable will be the height. To make the experiment fairer, correct or not? I cannot say that I want to test the base, but one I put very high, one I put very low. But then what to test? There is nothing to test because you say you want to test base area and you want to say that higher base area means it is stable, but the height must be constant. If you know constant means always the same, cannot change. The height cannot change. You want to do 10 cm 10 cm, 100 cm 100 cm, 50 cm 50 cm. So this will be the constant variable that you want to test. Let's say I want to say guy like chocolate more than vanilla. Maybe the constant variable will be maybe I want to write the type of chocolate. Type of chocolate cannot change. Type of vanilla maybe I don't want to change because maybe I want to let them try to eat. And then the gender, I cannot say some guy I give and then I give some girl, because the gender must be the same, because I say it's a guy. Or let's say I just say the demographic like Kuala Lumpur people. I don't use it for US, I just say Kuala Lumpur. So this is how we want to do constant variable, so that we want to remove the limiting factor that will kacau, factor that when we want to do the experiment, the other thing that will kacau the experiment. We want to remove we call this limiting factor, the factor that will limit the experiment. We want to try our best to make the experiment as accurate as possible. Of course you can say the object. Object also is a very good, okay, but height is more accurate. Object, maybe when you say same object no, same object, or maybe you can say same size. Then you don't want to use one big and then one small, then test what cannot test already. Okay, so for this one we can see, and then of course we will have the procedure in the experiment. Procedure usually this one student no need to memorize, but you need to understand. You need to imagine in your brain, and then you just explain it like, okay, first put the object, same object, and put a stick below the plus 16. For example, you use plus 16. Make the base area 20 cm for A, and make the base area 10 cm for B. After that, maybe you say you want to use a fan. Okay, use a fan to blow it and increase the wind until the object fall down. Then the data will be collected. So after I do the procedure, I write 1 2 3 4, repeat the step, then I do the observation. So what is the observation? Let's say I do the, usually it's like this lah. It depends whether you put X and Y. So X is the base area. Let's say I put here A and B. So this one I write fall down. This one I say no fall down. Okay, no fall down. So the fall down will be, what am I drawing? Maybe like this enough. Fall down, I do A fall down. A no fall down, B fall down, for example. So this is the observation. 我看到的东西. After that, we can get a conclusion. by the data that we have, we conclude that higher base area will make the object more stable. Okay, so hypothesis is accepted. Then I just say blah 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 blah. I just say that higher base area will make the object more stable. So this is called science. Means I am not just talking for fun. It's not like English literature. You say the sun is very happy, the ocean is singing song, your beauty captive my heart. I don't know lah. This is literature, but because you say your wow, you're so beautiful. But this is not science. This is your literature, your feeling, your philosophy, or you say people need to do good because good is blah blah blah. Then you say the 弟子规 and blah 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 blah. Okay, but that is not science. Science means you need to show me, prove me, let me see. I want to show you, I want to prove it, I want to let you see. I do the hypothesis, I do the variable, I do the procedure, I do the observation, I do the discussion, I give you the conclusion. But of course, when you go to university, there will be a few more lah. There will be a suggestion, discussion, implication, at why. So after you know this, what you want to do with this knowledge? Oh, after I know this, I want to show that actually build house you need to build big area. You don't build small. And then you say maybe in Japan or Indonesia got earthquake, 地震. So you want to make it big. So if you make it big, the house more stable, the people don't die. Malaysia never mind lah. Malaysia no earthquake. Earthquake also very little bit only. So this is the implication, application. After you know this science thing, it's not like, oh, okay lah, I know already, thank you, bye bye, close the book. After that, you need to think, today I learned this thing already. What can I do? What you want to suggest to the society or yourself? That's why I like to read book. I like to read newspaper. Last time I read very fast. Read read 了背了去考试拿分数 yes 拿了分数 but now I read book, I change my mentality already. After I read, I close the book, then 我就思考 okay, later I read already what the book trying to say, what I can understand, and after I know already what can I do, 我要怎样去用这个knowledge that we have, how we want to use it in our life. English also the same lah, but everything is English, BM, Malay, or we want to use it in your essay, use in your family. You need to think lah. Because after you think it's very good, then it's easy for you to do K-part question. Because K-part question you cannot read in your book. They will just ask anything. They will ask like, okay, after you know the stability, and they will explain, for example, where did I see the picture? That, for example, he will give you let's say the K-part question asks you how to design a good car with good stability. Let's say how the K-part question asks you how you want to design a car or a house with a good stability. So you can say that I want to make the house got a very low center of gravity so that it is very stable, the car is very stable, but the car can turn in a high speed without overturn. And I want to say I want to make the car has a very big base. So in order to make a big base, I need to make a big tire. If the tire is bigger, then it will be safer. So the car got a better brake, better grip, and higher stability. So for example, this is K-part question, and you cannot you cannot do read in your book, because book don't say, because he can ask about car, he can ask about house, he can ask about plane, he can ask about bird, he can ask about lake, he can ask anything. So you need to, after you understand the concept, you need to grab the concept lah. The concept is very important. Understand the concept and so on. And then next time you can apply in your life. whether what car you want to buy. You want to buy a car with big tire or small tire. So you say next time when you have children, 你要买车的时候你就想 that's why sometimes I don't like my V. I mean my V is good, but my V 很高 because I drive car fast I drive quite fast because I use highway back to KL and Seremban. So I always choose a car that 比较低一点 and the tire 是 big a bit so that highway 安全一点 but there is a cons bigger tire also means more money your car slower and use more petrol so you can see that if you want to use bigger tire then that is another topic 它会用比较多油一点那个车慢一点 that's why you see like motorbike they like to the mud 它会 modify 那个 tire 给它瘦 if the tire very small means you can go fast but faster go also means can faster die also so there's a lot of factor that you need to think but the most important thing is understand how you want to do the experiment for everything is the same whether it's height, foot, speed, whatever thing in science you want to do experiment, you want to do conclusion 证明出来 and then we want to ask K-Bud question K-Bud okay the practical so 你知道了过后你要怎样用 so this is the thing for example we can see the kangaroo is not stable so that it have a tail so this tail you can see it is more it can balance it and it's more heavy so the center gravity 会低一点 it will slightly lower if I cut the tail probably the center gravity is here so if the center of gravity is higher the thing is not so stable but I give back the tail 我粘那个 tail 进去 the center of gravity 会比较低一点 and the thing is more stable okay so this is the thing more stable oh my goodness okay so I stop until here and I hope you learned something today and I see you next time thank you and bye bye
Thank